Cancer is extremely complex.
With AI, you have the potential to detect where in the world there are hotspots where you have the highest unmet need.
With the immunotherapies and the developments in the field, success rate is still very low.
So really it's about speed, it's about hope, and it's about fairness.
Did you know that in 2022, approximately 20 million new cancer cases were diagnosed worldwide, and 9.7 million people lost their lives to the disease? Cancer is a word that carries fear, uncertainty, and immense emotional weight. But it's not just one disease, it's a collection of over 100 different types, each with its own challenge and treatment methods. This topic is deeply personal to me. I lost both of my parents to a different type of cancer, and their battles have driven my passion for exploring the future of cancer treatment. In this episode, we will speak to leading experts to uncover how cutting-edge research and technologies like artificial intelligence are offering new hope. From our very first episode covering breakthroughs in drug discovery to today's discussion, healthcare has remained a central theme of the Futurist. So let's dive in and explore how we can fight this disease and what the future holds for a cure. Michelle, tell us about you. You're passionate about a very big problem the world is facing, and that is treating cancer. And
That's right.
We're going to talk about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what that looks like.
I'm an immunologist by training. I did my PhD in Cambridge. And during my time there, I was very passionate about translating the research into drugs. I also wanted to understand how the industry works. After spending 4 years at AstraZeneca, I moved across to Oxford from Cambridge, and I joined a company called Immunocore, which most people would know is one of UK's most successful TCR immunotherapy biotechs that has a treatment for uveal melanoma.
What are cancer cells? What is cancer?
To answer that question, I think you need to look at what is a healthy cell. So healthy cells basically divide in a controlled manner, and they know when to stop, when they've assumed a certain size or a certain conformation within the body. In the context of cancer, it's when a cell's programming becomes awry, and it starts to divide uncontrollably, and it starts to interfere with the immune system and with the function of the human body.
So basically, our bodies have different cells, and if those cells are not functioning properly, you have the onset of some kind of a condition or a disease or cancer, for
That's
example,
right.
And then you would use immunotherapy to treat that. Is that correct?
That's right,
Okay.
yes.
And that's where we are today. I mean, cancer is such a big problem that, everybody's working hard to find out, how to solve different types of cancers. The field is vast. It's not just one type of cell that you're trying to
Absolutely.
address. So any abnormal division of cells, growth of cells, multiplications of any cells in our body can potentially go towards cancer.
You're absolutely right. In the case where cancer goes out of control, it starts to spread throughout the body, and it starts to interfere with the function of all your organs. And it's a very painful process. I mean, the patients actually undergo a lot of pain because there is a lot of just normal bodily functions that we take for granted. So for us, it's a very personal project and undertaking to really find new cures for these cancer patients.
Cancer treatment has come a long way. The earliest known references to cancer date back to 1600 BC in ancient Egypt, where physicians attempted crude surgeries to remove tumors. Fast forward to the 20th century, when modern chemotherapy was introduced in the 1940s, followed by radiation therapy and the development of targeted drugs. Today, we are witnessing a revolution, the rise of precision medicine and AI-powered treatments which tailor therapies to a patient's genetic profile, drastically improving survival rates and reducing side effects. So, how far have we come, and what does the next decade of cancer treatment look like?
Checkpoints being the blockbuster drug now as the main line of treatment for many solid tumors still doesn't work in about half the patients out there, and nobody really understands why that is the case. And this is one of the primary goals of Etcembly, is to understand why, drill into the biology of why certain patients don't respond by looking at patients that do respond and are still alive 3 to 5 years after being successfully treated with immunotherapy. What we call the traditional way of finding new cures, it's very much bench, wet lab based. People look for differential expression between healthy tissue and cancer tissue. And what are the differentials are your cancer antigens, your targets that you can go after. Traditional way is for people to find new antibodies or T-cell receptors against these antigens and then turn them into immunotherapy drugs. This has worked so far, but unfortunately, the attrition rate and the failure rate is extremely high. T-cell receptors are expressed on T-cells, and they what we consider the frontline fighters of the immune system. So T-cells are what we call the commandos. When they recognize a foreign antigen, it will activate and destroy the targets.
According to a recent report, the global AI in precision medicine market was valued at $2.18 billion in 2023 and is expected to skyrocket to $16 billion by 2032, growing at a growth rate of 25%. Sanofi is at the forefront of this transformation. In 2021, they invested $270 million in AI-powered drug discovery through their partnership with Oken, an AI-driven biotech company focused on cancer. By leveraging AI, Sanofi is accelerating drug discovery, improving clinical trial design, and even testing new drug candidates on real human tissue models before clinical trials, cutting years of the research timeline. These efforts are not just about speed, they're about creating more effective, targeted treatments that give patients a better chance of survival.
So my name is Rippon Ubhi. I am the country lead for Sanofi UK and Ireland, and the role I play is basically running the UK and Ireland operations. Sanofi is a pharmaceutical company, a global pharmaceutical company. We have around 90,000 employees in Sanofi, working across a number of different therapeutic areas, from research and development all the way to the commercialization of medicines to patients. For us at Sanofi, we put the safety of patients at the core of everything we do. We take AI very responsibly. So me as a leader, as a country lead of Sanofi UK and Ireland, we are trained, we are upskilled on which areas we take a more protective approach to how we work with AI. We work with legal, we work with compliance, we work with cybersecurity to make sure that everything is super tight so that we can protect ultimately the patient and patient data. AI doesn't work in isolation. We're a pharmaceutical company. What we're good at is researching and bringing medicines to patients. But within that, we know that we're moving into an age of digital and AI, and it's important to collaborate. So really the essential partnership is all around how we collaborate, whether it's with tech companies, but more importantly, how we're working with researchers, scientists, the healthcare systems, the government, to really understand how we can leverage the use of the concept of data and AI.
I'm particularly excited about how some of the teams that we're supporting directly are using artificial intelligence coupled with structural biology to better be able to predict the structures of complicated proteins that are on the surfaces of cells. And we use that technology to harness the immune system to fight cancer.
We've started recruiting cancer survivors to come and donate blood locally, but also in the hospital networks that we've been engaging with. I think these clinicians are drawing in, say, 3-4 patients a month. So to do 100 patients, we're talking about 18 to 24-month study. But what we expect in the short term is as these patients come forward and we sequence their blood, we will start to see patterns emerging quite quickly. This will be apparent through our machine learning algorithms. And also at the same time, we will be doing experimental validation to test our hypothesis. Within the next 12 to 18 months, we expect the readouts to emerge quite quickly.
I lead the Mark Foundation for Cancer Research. We work with Cancer Research UK and other organizations to support the Cancer Grand Challenges program, which enables teams of scientists around the world to come together to work on projects that tackle the toughest challenges in cancer today. They are using technologies such as AI to address those problems in new ways.
It may come as a surprise, but AI has the potential to reduce radiotherapy planning time from 150 minutes to less than 5 minutes, making cancer treatment more efficient and accessible. Technology is revolutionizing how we detect, diagnose, and treat cancer. AI is helping scientists analyze vast amounts of data, making drug discovery up to 1,000 times faster than before. And early detection is getting a major boost. In the UK, AI-powered skin cancer scanners have now delivered results in just 5 minutes, compared to the traditional 20-minute examination. Beyond that, AI is also helping predict how patients will respond to different treatments, leading to more personalized, effective therapies. One study found that AI models can accurately predict survival outcomes for multiple cancer types better than some traditional methods. With advancements like these, we're moving towards a future where cancer treatment is faster, more precise, and ultimately more successful.
Etcembly was founded in January 2020 by myself and Jake. We literally started the company with an idea that we could use machine learning to design the next generation of immunotherapies. It was conceptual, and in fact, at that point, large language models didn't even exist. Although the concepts of natural language processing, and there was tons of research published in that space, we knew we could actually apply machine learning to understand immune pattern recognition. So when I say immune pattern recognition, I'm referring to how our immune repertoires, which is made of T cells and B cells, recognize antigens. So these are proteins that are expressed in the immune system, be it a viral antigen or a cancer antigen.
Collecting data is fundamental to anything within the healthcare field. And AI is doing a lot, right? Our current technology set is doing a lot, which gives me a lot of hope. The future is going to be much better because now we can do much more types of things.
Yes, it is. How we actually make sense of it is to building these networks of individual T cell clones and B cell clones between healthy donors, cancer survivors versus cancer patients who did not survive treatment. And we'll start comparing and start seeing patterns emerging from these networks. We actually want to work with sequencing companies who will be, who I think will really benefit from something like this, because it's a really unique study, and I think society will benefit, but I think it will be also great to show that your technology has actually brought this to reality. So we are speaking to sequencing companies, or would like to work with them in the future.
Experts I spoke with are cautiously optimistic about the future of cancer treatment. While a universal cure remains elusive, targeted therapies and precision medicine are dramatically improving survival rates. The road ahead is still challenging, but with continued innovation, investment, and collaboration, we are inching closer to a world where cancer is no longer a deadly threat, but a disease we can confidently manage or even eliminate.
This is where the magic, the miracles come to life, when you're actually talking about the average person who's waiting for medicine. So there's three things I would say that are the focal areas for the patient and for healthcare. One is around speed. The use of AI, whether it's in the drug discovery phase or it's in the delivery of care phase, the acceleration of bringing the molecules from 12 potential years, which is today's average, to 6 means quite essentially that the patient doesn't have to wait 12 years to get their medicines. Think about patients who have cancer. Think about patients who have debilitating conditions like multiple sclerosis, who have to wait these long, long years. With the use of AI, shortens the speed for the patient. Very, very importantly, I'd say it's hope. It's bringing hope to patients and their families, knowing that they don't have to wait longer times, knowing that the medicines that they have are the ones that are really pushing the boundaries of science, where you've got first-in-class and best-in-class medicines and innovation getting to patients so that they can live longer. So really it's about speed, it's about hope, and it's about fairness. And that's where I'd say it really benefits the average patient and their families.
We have decided we're going to reverse engineer biology by doing it the top-down approach, starting with the patient who have been cured of cancer and have kept cancer under control. So we're sequencing the blood of these cancer survivors, looking at their T cell and B cell repertoires to find protective immune signatures that has given them the ability to be healthy and will keep the cancer under control to this point.
How is machine learning going to help you sequence all this data? Like, what are some of the steps that are going to take place? Do you have an algorithm that you have designed specifically to go really deep into the sequencing process?
Once we start sequencing the immune repertoires, we have, like millions and millions of data points, right? And this gets fed into our machine learning algorithm, which is actually a set of sophisticated large language models. And through these immune repertoires, we can build networks. So these intricate networks can be compared across different individuals. Healthy individuals, individuals that have not survived cancer versus individuals that have. And you can start to see patterns emerging. In the future, we want to be able to prevent cancer, right? Because there is a precancerous state that a lot of these cells adopt. And the idea is that if you can screen earlier, you can prevent cancer and prevent suffering. So I think that's going to be the next step forward. First of all, cure cancer, and then the next step is prevent cancer from even happening. I think the future is not too far away, maybe a decade away from that possibility.
As we look ahead, it's clear that cancer treatment is at a turning point. With AI, personalized medicine, and early detection methods advancing rapidly, the future looks promising. But innovation alone isn't enough. We need governments, healthcare providers, and the private sector to collaborate and ensure that these groundbreaking treatments are accessible to everyone. If you are in the healthcare industry, how can you contribute to the fight against cancer? If you're a policymaker, how can we accelerate funding for life-saving research? The answers to these questions will shape the next decade of cancer treatment. Thank you for watching The Futurist. My name is Ian Khan, and it's been a pleasure to bring you this episode.